I got problems on problems on problems on problems on problems on problems I solve them. I run through the money, the pressure be calling. Left on my blessings, I feel like I'm falling. The birdie is back, tell me I'm garbage. I'm going through something, that's why I ain't calling. Phone and progression, it's all that I wanted. The phone and affection, I summon and dub it. Cause I got problems on problems.
And what's going on, people? It's the Xbot 448, and yeah, guys, I am doing another video today. Today was a crazy day because more information has come out about next gen consoles or whatnot. More on the PS5 side. I know some information came out last night, and some information came out today. You see in the title, talking about PlayStation 5 and its backwards compatibility. Sony, in terms of what's going on with expanding the memory on your PS5 as well. Yeah, Juan, what is going on, man? What is going on, Cali Rex? Old Gamer was here first. Shout out to you, brother, for being here first for this. Dragonheart Yobi, what is going on? Guys, some interesting information, man. And anytime I see people trying to do certain things on social media, I feel like I got to get a video out and kind of put the record straight from what I see it as. So, and I try to look at things with a very kind of like balanced mentality, balanced process, in terms of the news that comes out, regardless of whether or not it's Xbox, PlayStation, Nintendo Switch, Ouya, the new Atari, anything like that, man. And I try to put it out there for you guys. Yeah, Meisuko. I want to say Meisuko. If I massacred that name, I do apologize. It's Friday and news is dropping fast. It definitely is, and we are gonna get in. We are gonna get into some of it. As usual, guys, if you haven't done it yet, share this video out. Let people know, that we're in here talking about some of the newest things when it comes to the PlayStation 5, what Digital Foundry said about backwards compatibility, what Sony says about expanding your PlayStation 5 memory at launch, and yeah, we'll get into some load times as well. Yeah, Old Gamer Medium. That's a good piece of news right there. Something to kind of head off with. The game Medium that a lot of people are really anticipating on the Series X has been delayed until January 28th, 2021. So the game has been delayed until very early 2021. Within the first month of 2021. It is what it is, man. I swear, so many games have been getting delayed recently that it's really no surprise to me. It's a surprise to me if games come out on time right about now. That's the way it seems. Like any game that actually drops on time, I'm gonna be like, wow, that is more the rarity right now than any type of delay. Yo, shout out to you, Old Gamer. Yeah, I know, man, but it's not. It's a couple months. It's a couple months, man. I'll give it to you. But you'd rather have it launch running well than anything else, right? I mean, I know I would. Even in this day of like x86 architecture and kind of like getting updates and stuff like that for the game, you still want the game. You still want the game to launch performing well. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, it is what it is. What? Axel, don't even. PlayStation 5 controller only lasts for 2 hours. They're going to bring back corded control. Dude, I think you're playing. I hope you're playing. But I really hope you're playing on that. I heard that it was supposed to have more battery power than the DualShock 4. That's what I heard. But I'm gonna look into that then. But today we are going into PlayStation 5's backwards compatibility, and what you see going on right now is courtesy of Digital Foundry. They did their kind of like analysis between the PS4 Pro. You'll see on the right side it's either PS4 Pro, Xbox Series X, and of course on the left side you'll see the PS5. You see the frames and stuff like that. Now, am I loud? Am I loud now? Yeah. Can you hear me now? Yo, what is up, doggy? What is up, Alo? Uh, okay, all right, Axel. Thank you for clarifying that, brother. Kind of. Uh, I don't know. We're just gonna keep going then. I do apologize for that. Seems like I'm getting picked up fine on OBS, so we're just gonna keep on moving forward. But like I said, backwards compatibility with the PlayStation 5. Digital Foundry did their video. I watched it a couple times. Um, Kima, I don't know. I gotta research that, guys. I hear what you're saying about the controller, but I gotta look into that first. All right, I will get back to you guys on that one. Uh, right now, backwards compatibility when it comes to the PlayStation 5, and the thing I'm seeing out there on social media is people are trying to compare it to the Series X backwards compatibility. And there's a lot of good things that are going on with the PlayStation 5 in terms of backwards compatibility. The main thing being a solid 60 frames per second on games that can run 60 frames per second. Now, you might be asking, well, what games can't run 60 frames per second? There are certain games within this generation that the developers had decided to lock at 30, to have it capped at 30. um, and for those games you can't really go above 30 frames because the code is locked for 30 frames per second. And it would take the developer to go in and to kind of like patch out that code and try to get it to be enabled for 60 frames per second, which is actually a lot of work because it's taking like double the frames, basically doing double the work to get the game on the screen and running fluently. So for games that can go 60 frames per second, they are talking that the PS5 backwards compatibility is a locked 60. All right, which is awesome. And for the games that are locked at 30, it's locked at 30. Uh, Here's the thing though. This is something that, there's people out there trying to compare it to the Xbox Series X in terms of backwards compatibility, and I don't feel you can really do that. A lot of the games, all right, a lot of the games that were tested with backwards compatibility with the PS5 and the Series X actually have some inherently different qualities, mainly being overall resolution. Now, what they did was they took the games that were running on the PS4 Pro, right? The Xbox One X, kind of like those advanced settings for those games, and that's what they're using for the backwards compatibility for the Series X is using the One X version of the game. The PS5 is using the PS4 Pro version of the game, and the difference here is overall resolution when it comes down to it. The One X was more powerful than the PS4 Pro, and it ran a lot of the games, especially the multiplats. It ran them at a higher resolution. So when it comes down to it, I'm looking at both the backwards compatibility, and I think they're both doing really well. Especially when it comes to Sony with the Lock 60, and as you can see right there with it was Rise of the Tomb Raider. That mode was locked at 30. It was the higher resolution mode. But a lot of the games, especially the multiplats, were Yeah, old gamer. There were certain instances. Sekiro resolution. Uh, well, Sekiro 60 frames per second. All right, and there were a couple small dips on the Xbox, and then the same can be said about other games as well that had a couple little dips on the PS5, and that's what I'm trying to say here. Like when it comes down to it, you really can't compare the two. A lot of the games had different resolutions. Were kind of like made differently to run on the different sets of hardware because the One X was more powerful than the PS4 Pro. So you would inherently have a lower resolution and stuff when it came to the PS4 Pro. But the good thing is, moving forward into this generation, the Xbox and the PlayStation, in terms of backwards compatibility, right, are doing really well, performing really well in terms of having the older games running better on the new systems. Not only that, another thing was when Digital Foundry was doing their video, um, one of the guys was talking about like kind of like the HDR that was implemented in one of the games and how it was a tone map HDR, which he could not sign off as a legitimate high dynamic range color solution. And I think this is where Xbox with the Series X kind of does a step up above what PlayStation is doing, because with the machine learning, there are certain aspects, certain things like the auto HDR for games that didn't even have HDR kind of like coded into it or anything like that. Having the ability to add high dynamic range to games like that through machine learning on the Series X, I think that is a step that gives them a step up in terms of backwards compatibility, in terms of the features that could be implemented. Now, I know people are saying that there is machine learning on the PS5. I just haven't seen it, or any type of utility of machine learning when it comes to the PS5 yet. Maybe they do find a way to kind of implement an HDR type situation when it comes to it. Uh, but until then, I haven't seen any utility of machine learning on a game, on the PS5, a game running on the PS5. So until I see something, see what they're doing with ML, I really can't say anything about that. But I do think that, with what Xbox is doing with the added features, such as the machine learning auto HDR, I think it puts them like a step above that. Um, Oh, so people are really they're talking about controllers in the chat, guys. Talking about controllers. Now, another thing I want to talk about, and I actually started talking about this last night. There was an article that came out on The Verge, right? And it's basically about the storage expansion at launch for the PS5. Now, um, basically what it's saying, I'm looking at the article. I'm trying to see where I can start and just kind of read the article for you guys. Let's see. While the PS5 features a dedicated internal slot that can theoretically fit standard stick shaped M.2 SSDs and an easy way to access it, the slot will apparently be disabled out of the box. This is reserved for a future update, Sony tells The Verge. So, in other words, the slot that you have that you can add an M.2 SSD and expand the memory on your PS5, it's gonna be disabled at launch when you open up your PS5 and you're getting everything ready. You cannot put an SSD in there to expand the storage. Let's see. If you've been paying close attention to PS5 news, this won't be a big surprise. PlayStation hardware architect Mark Cerny, well, he didn't spend several. Well, he spent several minutes talking up the SSD storage expansion feature as part of his technical preview back in March. But he also said at the time that support was likely to be a bit past launch. All right, and when I say a bit past launch, what they're saying in this article is 2021. So this update for the PlayStation 5 will come in 2021. and they're not saying early 2021. I'm thinking it should be pretty early, but that was kind of crazy. I know they said that really quick back in March, right? But there has been a lot of time in between that for Sony to kind of work with these companies that are making SSDs. There are definitely SSDs out there that are quick enough to be put into a PlayStation 5. So what's going on with the certification? What is the holdup that they're kind of waiting on or whatnot? I think that is the question. A lot of people, you're going to see a lot of people on YouTube, a lot of people that talk gaming news. I think you're going to see a lot of people ask that, like, what is the situation to where there is no SSD that will be certified to the point where that space to add the memory is going to be disabled. Even if you have an SSD that you know can run that, can run as fast and it does what it needs to do, that slot is going to be disabled. Me personally, I feel this is a core feature that should be open on launch. There should at least be one SSD that is certified. And correct me if I'm wrong, guys, but when I think back to what was going on in March with Mark Cerny, I know there was a lot of discussions afterwards, and I believe people were saying that the SSD didn't have to be certified from Sony to be put into the PlayStation 5. The certified ones are guaranteed for optimum performance, but when it came down to it, a super fast SSD, fourth gen, all that good stuff, um, would be able to work in the PS5 as well. I believe that was said as well in conversations after Mark Cerny's kind of like showing. I believe that is kind of like the information that came out, and it didn't necessarily have to be certified. So by them disabling this space, you gotta ask why. Let's see. Mesuko says missing 1440p and 120 hertz is bad for many Samsung TV owners since they could utilize that combo. All right, guys. Well, it's good to see you guys talking to each other and communicating and all that good stuff in the chat. That is freaking awesome. Dark Optimus says, "Don't listen to Bot. He is no King Neutral, dude. I am King Neutral. All right, I am King Neutral for talking about stuff like this. I talked about the Series X and its lack of first party content at launch as well. So when it comes to both sides of the fence there, the PlayStation side, the Xbox side, I'm gonna call it like I see it, and I feel like this is a core feature that should be ready at launch. There should be at least one SSD that is certified and available for the PS5. And I don't understand anybody saying no, this is okay. No, this is fine. No, this is good. It's actually a good idea that they disabled that slot. Like I don't understand that whole kind of like thought process. But dude, first off, shout out to you, man. Good to see you on my channel again. I believe in conversations after Mark Cerny's showing in March, they said that SSDs don't necessarily have to they don't necessarily have to be certified to be put into the PS5 as well. So, yeah, this is really fishy to me, man. I don't know. This is really iffy. Yeah, as usual, guys. Let your opinions flow in the chat. Let me know what you guys are thinking on this. It's something that I thought was uh it's something I'm keeping my eye on, man, because that is really weird in my opinion, and especially for my brother Dark Optimus, who he did pre-order the all digital PlayStation 5. But then again, he only keeps 5 or 6 games on his system at one time anyway. All right. All right, Dark. He said it's definitely not good. No, I got you, man. And There's pretty much one more thing. I'm going through these topics. I'm looking at what you guys are saying. Uh, they're proprietary scripts written for. I see. Dude, you're gonna have to send me information on Twitter about that. I cannot just sign off on that they have proprietary scripts written for the SSDs and stuff like that. I feel it's a money situation is the reason why there are none that are certified. I think Sony wants a bigger piece of the pie, a bigger chunk of the money, and there has been really no agreements yet. Maybe Sony wants to make their own SSD. Dude, I wouldn't put it past them. I really wouldn't. Supersonic. No, they're not coming until 2021. That's the only information we got is 2021. So we don't know that they are coming very soon. All right? Just throwing it out there, man. Let me see. There was something else that was interesting, and I'm going through my DMs to check it out real quick. I think it had to do with load times. Load times, people. Load times. Let me check and see what's going on here. Oh, I forgot which. All right, I'm trying to find it, but I do remember what happened here. Okay, and basically what happened is people were doing side by side tests on load times when it came to the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X, and something very interesting actually happened. And all right, I do have to say, people were saying that these were completely unoptimized older games, right? This generation games, unoptimized for the SSDs or whatnot. But these were games that were loaded onto the SSDs for each system and then loaded up. And I'm looking for, hold on, guys, I am looking for the actual. Let me go messages big screen. I want to read you guys the actual load times real quick because I feel you guys deserve that attention. You know what I'm saying? Here we go. Here we go. So games like Red Dead Redemption 2 on the Xbox Series X, it took 1 minute 4 seconds to load into that game. On PS5, it took 1 minute 5 seconds. So comparable right there. It's within 1 second. Final Fantasy 15 on the Series X took 48 seconds. On the PS5, it took 1 minute 10 seconds. Destiny 2 on the Series X, 42 seconds to load into the game. On the PS5, 57 seconds. So you're looking at a 15-second difference there. Monster Hunter World, we're looking at Series X at 35 seconds to load into that game. PlayStation 5, 51 seconds. And then Batman Arkham Knight, Series X, 58 seconds. PlayStation 5, 1 minute 7 seconds. So that's like a 9 second kind of like differential right there. I mean, that's not too crazy. Final Fantasy 15, 48 seconds on the Series X compared to 1 minute 10 seconds on the PS5. Destiny 2, 15 seconds. And then Monster Hunter World, 35 seconds to 51 seconds. And the thing is, the Series X is loading these games quicker than the PS5. Guys, what do you think about that? PlayStation 5 later shows a list that says PS3 for games. Want me to send you the image? Yeah, Callie, dude, definitely. If there's ever any information that you want to share with me, dude, we have open DMs and all that good stuff. Definitely share that information with me. Now, when it comes to these load times, they're not really crazy. There's some of them that are really surprising. But the thing is, what was the main thing that Sony was touting when they unveiled the PlayStation 5? And I think you guys all know what I'm talking about. The super fast SSD. virtual elimination of load times, all that good stuff. And then you look at the specs of the SSD, how fast it is, and on paper it is faster than the Series X, SSD. So how is this happening, people? How is the Series X on this generation games, how is it getting a slight advantage in terms of load times over the PlayStation 5 SSD, which is supposed to be so quick? Dude, I do not understand this. I have no clue, guys. Maybe you guys in the chat can help me out on this, because I just don't know what is going on right now. I thought, on paper, the SSD was definitely faster on the PlayStation side of things. Yeah. But it's a great question. It is a great question. Think about it. Like, why would the Series X have any type of advantage when it comes to the load times? Realize the load times were longer without even seeing a side by side. Well, this came from this did come from gaming media as well. Let me go back and see who dun, dun, dun. Came from GameSpot. Hold on, let me click on that. Okay. So let me just share the video here. Give you guys. So the video came from GameSpot. I put it in the chat. And somebody wrote out the times underneath on Twitter. So that is how I got that. Yo. Uh-oh, Supersonic retracted a message. I don't know what he said. But yo, shout out to all you guys hanging out with me, man. Both consoles are good. End of story. No need to witch hunt. Dude, I'm not witch hunting, but isn't it interesting that with all the touting of how fast that SSD is, that the Series X doesn't have as fast of an SSD? Isn't it interesting to see the Series X having any type of formidable advantage when it comes to load times? I think it's interesting. I think it's something that should be talked about. And, I'm putting the question out there to you guys because I have no clue how that could happen. I don't know. Maybe it's the architecture to which the information is going from the SSD into, the processing units to get, the game running on your screen. I have no idea how this could actually be possible. So, I posed that question to you guys. I just think it's really interesting that there is some type of advantage there when it comes to load times, seeing that the biggest thing that Sony advertised and the biggest thing that people talk about with the PlayStation 5 is the ultra fast SSD. Yo, Straight Duval said, I saw a PS5 versus PS4 Pro comparison, and I knew the X was faster. It's really weird because on paper you would not think so. On paper you would not think so. Dude, oh, Doggy Dog, yo, he says, does the SSD still give the PS5 4 extra T flops? Now, the thing about T flops, going back to what I was saying about backwards compatibility with what Digital Foundry did their video on with PS5 backwards compatibility, they were talking about one game. They were talking about knack, right? And they used the T-flop difference. They said, well, this game, knack, running on the original PS4 Pro, and how many T-flops was that? And then how many T-flops is the PS5? And they're like, oh man, it's running on over 2.5 times the T-flops, or two and a half times the power. And they were talking about T-flops, and these are the same people saying that you can't measure this generation's T-flops to the next generation's T-flops because it's different internal hardware. Like the T-flop percentages are different between the generations, but when it came to Digital Foundry talking about the backwards compatibility with a game like Knack, they were comparing this generation's original PS4 in terms of T-flops to the PS5 in terms of T-flops. Um, very, very interesting. I thought we could not compare those, but I guess Digital Foundry thinks they can when they want to. So, yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. So, when it comes to backwards compatibility, again, I do not think you can honestly compare the PlayStation 5 and the Series X. Now, they are both doing really well when it comes to backwards compatibility. So, your libraries will be going with you to the new generation. You'll still be able to play all your games from this generation. The reason why I think you can't really compare them is because when you look at the games running on the Series X, they are using the 1X version of the game, which is usually some type of performance benefit over the PlayStation 4 Pro version of the game, whether it's resolution or something like that. There's usually something that's a notch or two better on the 1X version of a multiplat in comparison to the PS4 Pro version. So it's good that they're getting stable frame rates. It's good that the performances are looking really good on both sides. But I really don't think you can compare the two. With looking at Sony not letting people expand their memory on the PS5 again, I think that is I think that's a crime, bro. I don't like it. I don't think it's good. I think there should have been at least one SSD that has been certified for the launch of the PS5. So this way, people do have an ability to expand. You look at sizes of games like Watchdog Legion, Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Call of Duty. Like they're still gonna be really big games to download, and not having the ability to expand. And then not only that, but you do not have the ability on the PlayStation 5 to take a PlayStation 5 game off the SSD, put it into a mechanical drive, right? And then when you want to play it, take it from the mechanical drive back to the SSD. You can't do that. And I'm not sure if you can do that on the Series X either. That might be a generational thing, but at least with the Series X, and granted it is expensive, there is an option to expand the memory, and it's there at launch. So shout out to them for thinking about that. And they have more storage on the Series X than what PlayStation has on the PS5. So they have more storage and the ability to expand day one. So I mean that's something to think about, guys. But yeah, that's pretty much my live video from now, guys. I hope you're liking the content. If you are, hit that thumbs up button. If you haven't subscribed, definitely subscribe. One more thing before we go, I want to give a huge shout out to 343 Industries because today is the quote unquote birthday of Halo 4. And I will say Halo 4 was one of my absolute favorite stories in the Halo franchise. I had a blast playing through that campaign. I'm actually thinking about possibly streaming a couple of my favorite campaigns, my a couple of my favorite missions from the campaign tonight, probably after Crossfire. So if you guys are interested in that, definitely let me know. Just kind of celebrate that it is Halo 4's birthday. Again, I thought the story was absolutely awesome. Uh, so much emotion in it and stuff like that. I really, really got into Halo 4's story. So shout out to 343. And shout out to Halo 4 for coming out with a really compelling story. But other than that, guys, that's pretty much it for now. As usual, if you haven't done it yet, hit that thumbs up button for me. If you haven't subscribed, definitely subscribe. But yep, I gotta get ready to cook dinner in a little bit. Get ready for Crossfire on Mooch's channel. I have a busy night, possibly stream Halo 4 after Crossfire. So, follow me on Twitter and let me know if you would be down to watch some of my favorite campaigns. Join me in some of my favorite campaign missions in Halo 4 after Crossfire. Let me know if you're down to check that out. And I'll throw it up there. I'll throw it up here on this channel. But thank you guys for hanging out with me. I really do appreciate it. If you're checking out this video after we're live, hit up the comment section. I want to know what you think about these topics and anything else, guys. Anything else at all. But have a great Friday, and I'll probably see a lot of you guys later in the Crossfire chat. So later, everybody.
I got problems on problems on problems on problems on problems on problems. I solve them. I run through the money. The pressure be calling. Left on my blessings. I feel like I'm falling. The birdie is back. Tell me I'm garbage. I'm going through something. That's why I ain't calling. Phone and progression. It's all that I wanted. The phone and affection. I summon and dub it. Cause I got problems on problems.